Part 4, Chapter 4, George Harrison. George Harrison had the happiest childhood of the Beatles. He didn't have the sadness of losing his mother as Paul and John did. He didn't get sick like Ringo. He was the youngest of 4 children. He was also the youngest Beatle, born on February 25th, 1943. Harold, his father, drove a bus. Louise, his mother, taught ballroom dancing, but little George wasn't interested in dancing. He wasn't interested in music either. He was a quiet boy. As he got older, he wore tight pants and grew his hair long, even though the other kids made fun of him for it. George used to tell them he kept his hair long because the scissors his father used weren't sharp, and so every snip hurt. Of course, that wasn't true. He just liked the way his hair looked. Music came into George's life when he was 14. That's when he heard a British singer named Lonnie Donegan. The music Lonnie Donegan played was similar to rock and roll, except it was faster. They called this new music skiffle. George loved the sound of it and begged his mother to buy him a guitar. She finally agreed and bought one for $5. George taught himself how to play. He practiced so much that the tips of his fingers started to bleed. Eventually, though, George got the hang of it. Soon he wanted a better guitar, an electric guitar. An electric guitar is much louder because when it's plugged in, the sound runs through a speaker. Even though the guitar was $60, his mother bought it for him. Before long, George had formed a band with one of his older brothers, Peter. They called themselves the Rebels and played their first show at a club in Liverpool. Soon after, George was on a bus and met Paul. They started talking about music and realized they had a lot in common. They started meeting at George's house to practice music together. While Paul loved to sing, George was more interested in playing guitar. He was actually too scared to sing in front of people. Years later, he would be known as the Quiet Beatle